Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Women in Orkney in the northwest and nearby areas are expected to march to the Orkney Magistrate's Court to hand over a memorandum of demands as they say gender-based violence is rife in the area. The women say they want answers about GBV cases and justice for victims. In the past 2 days, the court has been dealing with 2 cases where women were murdered. This is the same court that has been hearing a murder case against ANC MP Sibusiso Kula, who allegedly stabbed his wife to death. The march is aimed at highlighting the plight of women living in the Kanana township, where residents say women get killed almost every week. SABC News reporter Sentleeng Lehihi is covering this march and joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Sentleeng. We can see there's marchers behind you. What are they saying this morning?
Good morning to you too, Desiree, and our viewers. Indeed, concerned women and residents of Kanana and Orkney have come out today bracing the rain, to let their call be heard, a call against gender-based violence. A scourge, they say, has been left to go undeterred as women are being killed, hacked, mostly even by those they love the most, those they entrust to take care of them, as we've heard with concerns raised about the Sibusiso Kula case and, hearing from close friends of that family about, this family, the Kula family, having stood together with the community against previous incidents of gender-based violence, only for the husband in that matter to also be found, wanting in an incident of gender-based violence that led to the dying of his wife. But as I've said to you now, many residents came out, undeterred by the rain to ensure that, their concerns are taken to the court manager of the Orkney Magistrate Court. They're saying that this week alone, they've been dealing with at least 2 cases, or 3 cases rather, that have been heard. And this is a weekly occurrence where each and every week a new case of gender-based violence is registered with this court. But to get an insight on, the troubles and tribulations that are felt by families left behind of the victims, we're going to speak to the family of one of the victims. This is her face here, one of the victims of gender-based violence. Mewaka, re tlhalosetse maina ga go le gore selo se sa tshotlhakako ya bomme se lamile jang ngwana wa lona ga sa tlhola le teng a tota gona le justice
ke kopa justice re bereke because I've lost ngwana a sampana le monyane a sia le ngwana o morago go kopa mmuso o eme ka manto maponisa eme ka manto a re lwanele ho lekane ga ke lakaletse le motho o mo lena a hlaelwe ke ntho e. That's why re eme mo re tlileng le o tla ka pele re tlo lwana ntwa ya gore stop it re kopa mmuso re lwanele
le maemo a ngwana tlhokagetseng mo gone ke maemo a tsitsibanya mmele tlhalosetsa baretsi ba rona gore go diragetseng.
Okay, ngwana ka o bolewe ka re ntja motho ona mo bolai ka rena sa mo tlwele le botlhoko ka mogona mentsa ka teng o mo bolaile ka ga sa mo tsebe o me ntse ntwe ngwe ke sa tsebile le ona tja ke khone lo go bala ke dula ke nana gore ka mogwe ngwana le metse ka teng le go mo hlapisa ona le jwang a mo hlabila mentse ntse tse kaofela a mo hlapila koto a sna le phata ka mo morawe ya boko botshobo ha re ba pata tshwantse re etse go kwaliwe gona go pata ngwana
kutlo botlhoko e kana segolo bogolo re bona gore it's happening in other families, this brutality against women. When will it stop?
Ke yona ntwe ke re kopa re tlile mona re tlo kopa go mmuso re emele re kopa justice go kopa stop violence ena e fele le bona bana ba rona ba kgone ho tsamaya hantle ba kgone ho etsetsa bana ba bona ba sile bana ba mangata e bohloko ntwe e tlhaetseng.
A very heart-wrenching description of the circumstances that led to their daughter's death there. Her brain left to just flow out of her skull after her skull was bashed in. This is a reality facing many women in this area. Let's contextualize the need for this march by speaking to the convener of this march. Mewaka, maina go ka botlalo o re tlhalosetse gape gore ke eng se se bakileng gore le tlhagelle jana le le ba mokgatlho wa gago.
Dumelang lebitso la ka ke nna Mahadi mo happy ke tswa Kanana mo ke kenya ka tolukile mo mokgatlong wa women affected by mining united in action. So gore re tle mo gele basadi ba Kanana re ameile haholo hobane after khwedi ga pata nka o balla mme ka di 1 tsa April ne re pata ausu o mong a thuntsweng ka sehloko mo ntlong ya gagwe, and then starting from April until the 12th of January re patile basadi ba 7 kaofela. weekend ena ne re pata mosadi o blaweng ka sehlo o palamisitsweng mo kirivaeng ke monna ene ke botho ba bontate ba etsang diketso tsena tse tjena so re le bomme re ne re ho magistrate wa rona ho lekana hobane each and every time these people ba demanda bail so re mo ho bona we demand 365 days of activism and then le re mo president wa rona o buile this thing gender based violence ke it's a pandemic but mo Kanana the pandemic is better than this gender-based violence. So re bone ho le bohlokwa hore re tlo henda memorandum over mona mohlomong magistrate wa rona o tla utlwa a ska ba fa bail and then re hape batho ba fuwe life sentence.
Ra bona gore letsile le bantsi mme palo ya lona e ko tlasenyana ha o ka tlhalosa o bona e leng se se dirang gore batho ba ska tswa out in their numbers to support this initiative.
Batho ha ba tswa in numbers because re le bomme ba Kanana re lwana re le dikotokotang ke di group ka di group if community e tlile e tlo lwana mona bomme ba group e itseng let's say bomme ba ANC ha ba batla to support a community bomme ba group tse ding ba batla to support a community gore ha re ka ra kopana re le bomme re skera re di organizations tse itseng ka ga sebedisa di politics ra lwana ka nana re tla ntwena e tla batho ba boroko this thing ya today hore e ska tla tsena ke because of di politics bomme ba Kanana ha re ka ra tlwela di politics rabanto eleng ke yona ntho yentseng go ska wa tlala today but community ine buile hore e tlotla but because of the politics batho ba ngata ha batla.
Thank you very much for a very disturbing revelation by the convener of this march, explaining that, women have been disintegrated because of politics, and the numbers that have come out here are disappointingly low because there's no unity. She's saying there to us that to battle the scourge of gender-based violence, there needs to be unity within the community, particularly within the women formations in those communities. But as we've seen earlier, there have been engagements with the court manager. We're going to anticipate that the memorandum is going to be handed over to her, and then from there we hope to see that the demands of those who have come out here bracing this reign, that they will see some sort of justice, particularly against this gender-based scourge. Back to you in studio.
Sentleeng, while we have you, I just want to ask you, what are the political parties and the men in this area, how are they responding to this cry out by women for gender-based violence to stop?
We don't want to speak about that.
Absolutely, Desiree. I'm just going to step out of shot so my colleague can give you one of the men who's been addressing them. He is, an active member of the ruling party, the ANC. One of the most notable things that he spoke about in his address as he began was that, they are also very shocked and disturbed by the eventuality that led to the arrest of Sibusiso Kula, member of parliament of the ANC, having been charged with the murder of his wife. He says that this is quite disturbing, because they were united as party members, fighting against the scourge of gender-based violence in Kanana and Orkney, and disappointing to see one of the people who was leading this battle against gender-based violence being accused himself. I can report to you clearly there that they've spoken out outrightly that they themselves do not align themselves with anything that is gender-based violence related, and they are totally against anything that subjugates women.
So do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Are you able to speak to him at all, Sentleeng, so we can hear what he has to say?
Oh, yeah.
I think we should take opportunity and try to speak to him. Let's actually disturb him here. We've been listening and following to your statement here. You have spoken quite outrightly about the stance of men in this community, particularly those who are members of the ruling party. The sadness that you spoke about, working together with Sibusiso Kula, supporting family members who've seen the scourge of gender-based violence, only for him to stand accused. What do we say as men leading this community?
No, well, perhaps where you start, it's as a man. Case in point is that a week before, my younger sister, Yona Lambochani, was killed as Busiso together with his wife, Jennifer, both of them as friends to me. They came to give support to me, only to find out that a week later, according to the courts, Sibusiso would have committed such a horrific crime as well. It is unfortunate that both of them, as I've indicated, they had happened to be my friends, and in this case would never, as the ANC Youth League in the Northwest Province, would never be missing our words to say we're on the side of the victim, and we've been consistent in the court that Jennifer must get the justice, Yonela must get the justice. Want to really give an appreciation to the courts of Orkney, small as it might be, a very resilient magistrate, a white woman that we must really appreciate, who said no bail to both the perpetrators. We are here today. When we were here in court 3 weeks back to hear the bail hearing of my younger sister Yonela, only to establish that another man that we are here as a result of today had just killed his wife and for no apparent reason put him in a crevasse. You know, it's a business as usual in my community, in my township, to kill this creature that gives birth to us, that carries us for 9 months. It's business as usual. Like nobody, it matters to them to commit such a horrific crime. But we want to say to them, we'll never tire. We are here with activists of gender-based violence. We are here with activists of Women's League, ANC, and ourselves as victims to the perpetrators will never tire. We are going to say to them that they must never think at any given point in time, given our relationship with them, we'll support them.
How do we deal with sentiments coming from the convener of this march saying that the low turnout is actually due to the political fragmentation in the community and that society in this community is not united against this scourge?
That's why at a particular point when I said to you, it has begun a business as usual. It is my conviction that the better few, but the better. Will never tire. We are 40 here today. Almost 40 women have been killed in Kanana. 40 women have been killed in the city of Matlosana. Government does not care of this city. We don't really give a damn about them, but we will never tire. We'll fight this tooth and nail, and we want to celebrate resilient women of gender-based violence. A woman you spoke to just before you spoke to me now, she has got nothing. It's a woman with less, but her resilience in the society will always support her. I've never supported people on the basis of numbers. It is in my nature. Track my history. As a former president of the Congress of South African Children of this country, when I was elected, President Jacob Zuma, the former, he was there. I've never been in numbers. I've always appreciated two of you here to give support to people who are killed. AKA is no more today. Killings are real. Assassinations are real. If you don't speak about that on the basis of numbers, then you'll not be speaking to the problem. We'll speak about the problem. Women are killed in our country. The parliament spoke about Jennifer yesterday. Parliament, through the president, spoke about Yonela. We appreciate the efforts that the few take about the killings that happens about women. Even yourself interviewing me today, you are a woman. What happens to you tomorrow, I will defend it with my life. I don't care of what people say tomorrow, but we'll defend that. The better few, but the better.
Thank you. Words coming from a wise man, better the few than none at all. He said quite a strong point there that I may be standing here today, but I'm part of the scourge as I too am a woman. Back to you, my woman in studio.